from Marketing in Asia. And, I was going through about your profile and through LinkedIn, through social media. And what I've got to know is, you have over 20 plus years of experience in the industry, and you are Chief Marketing Officer in, Etica's Insurance Singapore, and you are also overseeing the marketing, corporate communications, and branding stuff. So I got so impressed, by looking all your social presence and everything you are doing. What I thought is, immediately connect you and get you on board for the Mother's Day campaign which we are running, because our audience is just mixture, and I'm sure after the session they will get a lot of stuff, learn from you how to balance between professional and personal life. So we really welcome you by heart, and I hope you will also enjoy the session which we are having right now.
Thank you, Koma, for inviting me to this session. Yes, I'm still learning as a mother now, despite that the kids are actually grown up at this point in time. Yeah, I'm happy to share details.
Awesome. So the first question, I really wanted to understand, because I'm also into motherhood, and I know it's very challenging thing. So how has motherhood changed you?
You know, I cried both times when I received my newborn in the hospitals. This is really life changing. You know, suddenly a human is totally dependent on me.
Okay.
Suddenly, and there is this physical dependence in the first few years, and then financial dependence for at least the next 21 to 25 years until they get to work. The situation is even unique for me because I took on a lot of responsibility upon myself. I do the cooking, the household chores, including tutoring the kids myself. Actually, I don't have a domestic helper when the kids were young, and they also do not go for enrichment classes except for piano lessons, perhaps. So for me, motherhood has changed me. I would summarize it in four ways. First is emotionally. I am more empathetic, I think. And also my emotions, I can feel it, I can feel happy easily or satisfied easily when the kids achieve something or do something unexpected, be it big or small. But the opposite is also true because I can get upset when they don't obey instructions. But though luckily in my situation, this happens less frequently. So the second one is physically.
Yes.
I can feel that I'm physically more tired when they are actually younger. Mentally also more stressed because I have to balance work and family and taking care of them. And I find that in the initial few years, right, I actually don't have enough time to exercise. I actually gain more weight in the initial few years. And thirdly is the social aspect of things. Again, in initial few years, I find that I lose some friends because really no time for them, as well as no time for a lot of other personal activities, I would say. And lastly, I think maybe this is a very occupational kind of thing for me. I find that also because I spend a lot more in expenses because of setting up the new family. And I can tell you the expenses doesn't reduce when the kids grow up. Now that my kids are in uni, I think the expenses is in fact more. And because they have to rely on our salary to live, right, I find that I also need to be financially protected in a sense. So in my context, since I'm in an insurance industry, I want to make sure that I protect the family, the children when in case I'm not there. So I want them not to suffer from any material needs. When they don't have me around, they can still get their material needs in a sense. So that is the four things that I think motherhood has changed me.
Surely you are correctly right. All these four things, while you were talking, I can easily relate. Emotional, you get very emotional, with the first kid, especially with the first kid,
Mm,
right? And insurance part, you have rightly said, because right now, due to COVID and everything, everything becomes very unexpectable. So the insurance thing, you have rightly said, everyone should, take care of their family, their self, while insurance helps a lot. after something happened. Correct. So moving on, how do you balance motherhood and your professional life, personal life? Because this question everybody wants to know how to balance, and you are into so much level. I know there are a lot of challenges you might be facing in day to day life. So how do you manage all these stuff?
Yeah, actually, without domestic help, right, it really doesn't come easy to me, this balancing. And it also has a lot to do with the expectation of myself and my expectation of the kids. I started my family at the time I was advancing my career, and I was greedy. I wanted both high achieving career as well as high achieving kids. So I also need to thank my spouse here, who has been a great help and supporter to me all this while. So to balance work and family, I use the concept of self-help, self-responsibility approach, both for myself and my children, and self-awareness of what is going on. So for myself, right, to continue advancing my career, I need I know I need to be result oriented at work so that I can be very focused and very productive at work. And of course, it helps a lot that I have a very understanding bosses so far in my career. And that's why I do the same to my team now. I'm more empathetic to their situation, be it they need to go away for caregiving for their kids or their parents. I will tell them take time off. And then when you come back to the office, you get rejuvenated. You are not worried that the kids or the parents are are not taken care of, to be exact. And for the kids, right, I know that I cannot be chasing them around to study, you know. So I want them to know why they need to do so that they are willing to push themselves. So what I do is I inculcate self-discipline, self-motivation to them, and applying a bit of psychology because I graduated in psychology with a degree in psychology. So I apply a bit of psychology. I have frequent chats with them. I know their passions. We set goals together in terms of what they want to achieve in school, in their extra curriculum and so on. Do a bit of encouragement, and I also want to make sure that I allow them to fail, and which I think this is very important because I think these days kids are very afraid to fail, and because they are afraid to fail, when they feel it's difficult for them to bounce back. So in the course of bringing up the kids, I ensure that I allow this and sometimes deliberately in that sense so that they will bounce back. Um, at the same time, I also ensure that I spend quality time with the family, frequent meals, occasional celebrations, birthday, Father's Day, and also our annual overseas trip. This is a must so that we relax, we spend whole day together. And lastly, I make time for myself to self recuperate as well. So these are the ways that I balance myself.
Yeah, true. I really loved all the points. The best point is self-discipline because, from birth, if you teach them how to self-discipline themselves, so I think in future also they'll become a good leaders. So yeah, so self-discipline is the main thing, you should teach your kids. Okay, we have learned about how do you balance. The next thing which I really wanted to understand, how do you take care of your own self-care? Because you just mentioned, you take care of your own self, but how do you find the time, how do you take care of your own self? Because going through all these things, you have a lot of mental stress also, while being a mom, into professional. So how do you take care of your own self?
I think this is a very good question because to balance both, right? Especially you're in a career where a lot of people depend on from me in the office for guidance, for leadership. It is important that I try to prevent a burnout myself. So I actually take a proactive approach. I do prevention rather than cure in a sense. So I do take time to appreciate the people and the things around me. Now my life routine includes regular exercise. I jog about 10 to 15 km on Saturdays
Wow.
and Sundays, every Saturdays and Sundays. And while I jog, right, I will also do a lot of self-reflection because it's it's the individual exercise. I don't do it with other people. So they got time to think about situations and about solutions, perhaps. And I also do regular volunteering. Being closer to people in need also helped me to to practice gratitude, to be grateful for the things that I have. I also do things that I want to do. For example, I find time to go hiking. I bake bread. I learned how to do a bit of gardening, though I think I've been quite fast at this point in time. And I also believe in continuous learning, especially when you want to advance in career. There is a need for you for us to be continuing in to know what is happening in the industry around us and in the area that we work. So, for example, I've recently pursued postgrad masters in gerontology. This is a study of aging, which is relevant to the area that I'm in. And I also took up executive programs in digital marketing in a local university. Be honest and willing to show my emotions. I think it's probably also part of self-care. And I find that children are very good at this, when they are not happy, they cry, they shout, and then when they are happy, they skip and sing. I think mothers should do the same, though not the dramatic kind, but what I did was I do cry, I find crying quite therapeutic at times, but I think we should not indulge too much in it because it is not actually too good. It will make your emotion quite down. So just enough to make us feel good and relax. Crying can be a good therapy as well. So that's how I do my self-care.
Yeah, because crying, it takes us all your internal stress out, which you're thinking, but you cannot discuss with anyone nearby because you don't want to make them stress out. So I
Yeah.
think crying is like taking out all the detoxifying outside. And yeah, I think it's very good point, crying stuff helps. So you just mentioned that, you do a lot of things with kids also, and you take care of yourself. So what something you have learned from your kids, because I'm sure kids are very smart these days, and there is something or the other to learn from them. So what things you have learned from them?
Actually, I learned, I mean, in terms of some of the technology things, sometimes they also teach me a lot. But what I wanted to share here is something that is a bit more personal to my situation, but I think it's also probably applicable for a lot of parents as well. What I learned is to drop technology, or to drop the tech and be there for them when they come to us. Meaning, if you are very busy with your iPhone, iPad, handphone, or whatever, when they come to you and ask for certain things, put it down so that you can be attentive to them. So one of the examples I have, I remembered when my daughter was in secondary school in the teens, because of heavy schoolwork, right? She is, I don't really, and also because of the fact that she's in secondary school, I don't really spend a lot of time guiding her in schoolwork and all that, and checking her work and all that. So what she does is she will come to my bed every night to just have a small chit chat and all that. But I remembered there was a period of time when I was very hooked up with Korean drama, watching Korean drama. So I was so excited, episode after episode. So when she came in, I usually asked her to, I'm not free, can you go away and all that, and ignore. I try to ignore her presence and ask her not to disturb me. And soon I find that she stopped coming to my room. And I really feel very guilty about it, and that I didn't give her the time she needed. Actually, what she needed probably is just 5 minutes of my time, just a small chat, a cuddle, and all that. So I realized this, luckily, and then I went to her. I had a small chat with her and said that, okay, mommy promise you, every time you come to my room, I will put down my iPad and just, have that chat with you. And I do this until today. So until today, she will still come to my room and all that. So it's good that I have a self-reflection and realize this sooner than later. And this is probably something that I like to share with audience, to say that, when the kids come to you for a small attention, just put down the things, Yeah.
True. Oh my God, you know what? After listening this thing, I am getting goosebumps. Yeah, because nowadays I also feel, we are too much into this Netflix series and dramas and all that, and we are into this lot of social media things, just scrolling. And whenever kids come, because kids are like they want to immediate if they're excited, they want
Yeah,
to immediate share. If you don't listen to them, they will get demotivated. Okay, never mind. I'll just go.
yeah.
So after listening to you guys, I get goosebumps, and yeah, I think everyone should, whenever kids come, they should give, importance to them. Very truly said. So surely, a lot of viewership, on our platform, they have entered into, the new motherhood phase, the new motherhood life. So everyone is very confused, what are the do's and don'ts. So just I wanted to understand, what's the most valuable lesson motherhood has taught you?
I will put it in two words. Be kind.
Yes.
So firstly is to be kind to ourselves. So what I've learned this so far in my 20 over years of motherhood. Really need to be kind to ourselves. So sleep well, rest well if we need to, relax, spend time with nature, which is very therapeutic as well and has a lot of health benefit when we spend time in nature. This is very well established. Yeah. Eating well is also important, nutritious, well balanced meal to boost our immunity system, keep us going, and exercise. So I explained earlier that exercise give me time, right? So that I can do self-reflection as well. So also allow ourselves to pursue our passions. I mean, maybe in initial stage of motherhood, when the kids are really small, it's difficult. But as the kids slowly grow up, I think we should also pursue passion. Maybe learn something new, pick up a hobby, read a book, right? And reward ourselves, which is also an important factor. Buy ourselves a present, treat ourselves to a good meal if we need to as well. So this is be kind to ourselves. The other kindness is to be kind to others. So I think that is also again, I think that would also be quite therapeutic to me, because I think actions motivated by kindness, concern for others is always going to bring peace and happiness for us within ourselves. And try it. If you don't believe, you have time, volunteer, and you will really appreciate it. When you look at others appreciating the small things that you do, you really feel good about it. And this is no money can buy it one. And I'm sure that when the children observe us doing actions of kindness, they will also pick up kindness attributes along the way. So I think these are the advice that I have, the lessons that I've learned in motherhood, throughout the years. Yeah.
Awesome, Shirley. Thank you so much. Today, because my kids are small, and I personally have learned so much things from you, from giving time to yourself, learning new things, exercise, the most important thing, because, when we start our motherhood journey, we usually don't take care of our own self because we have truly put ourselves to the kids, and after a few years of age we just realize, oh my God, we have not took care of ourselves that time. So this
Yeah.
is prolonged thing which has happened to us. So yeah, and one more thing which I've learned today is give time to your kids whenever they come, teach them. Yeah, so I will definitely try this thing today. And yeah, and self discipline, the most important thing, in your life. So this will help your kids to, make them leaders into future, because discipline is all about, right?
Mm.
So thank you so much, Shirley. Anything you want to add in the last moment of our this session, please feel free.
Okay. I mean, in case viewers was wondering how old are my kids, right? So
Yeah, because you just mentioned that
I
you're
have.
uni, and I was so shocked. Uni, you don't look like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've got two kids. My son is in uni pursuing medicine, and my daughter is also in uni doing data science. So yeah,
Wow.
they are both I would say doing well, like, in a sense. So yes, thank you for allowing me to
Nice.
share, my experience and my motherhood experience. Yeah, as I bring up the kids.
Yeah, and also, we can see you. You doesn't look like, you have two kids into uni. And secret also we got to know today because you take care of yourself so well that, you run 10 to 15 kilometers, right? So it is highly commendable to take out time into from your busy life and taking care of yourself. Thank
Mm.
you so much, Shirley, for giving your precious time to us. And I'm sure our readers, audience, who is watching, reading your article, would definitely get a lot of things to learn about it, and they will apply on their own self. Thank you so much, Shirley.
Thank you for inviting me. Good day.
Yeah, have a good day.